Welcome to City Maid Green's online do-it-yourself soap making class. Today we'll learn how to make cold process soap. In your kit you'll find several items that go into making your soap. First, there's the oil mixture, which is a blend of olive, coconut, and palm oil. Next you'll see a white container, which is your sodium hydroxide or lye. And then you have a small bottle of essential oils and a bag of herbal additives for your soap. What you'll need to provide that is not included in your kit is a kitchen scale, spatula, glass container, electric hand mixer, and meat thermometer. You can also make your own mold out of a cardboard following our soap mold pattern provided for you in this tutorial. The first step in cold process soap making is preparing your lye solution. You'll first need to measure 4 ounces of cold distilled water. And what you want to do in order for the scale not to take the weight of the glass container is you'll have to push tare on your scale so that it's zeroed out with the container on the scale. After you do that, you will pour the water in your glass container and you want to make sure it's at 4 ounces. And with this you really want to be precise because you need it to be exactly correct in order for the saponification levels to work out correctly and your soap to turn out right. So if you do a little too much, you can just pour it right back into the glass container. Almost there. There we go. So after you reach 4 ounces, then you're going to take your white bottle of lye and you're going to pour your water, mixing it with your spatula, and you want to make sure you do this very slowly. A word of caution with lye is very caustic. It can even cause third-degree burns. So as you're pouring it and as you're handling it, you want to make sure you don't get any on your skin. You want to make sure that you're wearing protective eye gear, and just make sure that you don't get it on your clothes, on your skin, anywhere near you, because it's going to burn if you get it on you. So also don't breathe it in deeply. You want to kind of step away from the solution as you're mixing it. So make sure it's thoroughly mixed into the water, and you can even feel your glass. The glass is going to get really hot because this is such a caustic chemical. Something that a lot of people don't know about lye is that it's actually made from leaching hardwoods, and it's the ash from hardwoods. So back before industrialization, people used to take the ash from their fires and they would use it to make soap. Today, thankfully, we have prepared lye for us, so we don't have to use ashes anymore. So what we're going to do now is we're going to set our lye solution aside and we're going to wait for it to reach 100 degrees. It'll probably take about 15 minutes, so in about 15 minutes you can come back and check it and make sure that it's at the correct temperature. It's been about 15 minutes and now you can check the temperature of your lye solution. You'll just stick the meat thermometer in the water and you're going to leave it in there for a little, like maybe about 30 seconds to a minute, just to try to gauge what the temperature is. So we can see that it is right at about 100 degrees, which means it is ready to mix. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take the oil that is included in your kit, and we're going to slowly mix it, pour it, and start mixing it into our lye solution. And what this mixing is going to do is going to create a process called saponification. So first we'll start by mixing it with our spatula, and once it's thoroughly mixed in there, then we're going to use the electric hand mixer to finish up the process. The oils that are included in your soap kit are coconut, palm, and olive oil. With soap making, you can use any combination of oils that you want. These are the ones that we chose for the kits because they just offer you a really good moisture factor, as well as the coconut and the palm oil. Since they're a more solid oil, they'll give a nice firmness to your soap. And this is where the cool process starts to happen. Is once we mix the two together, the caustic state of the lye is going to start reacting with the fats in the oil, and this is what makes soap. The reason why it's called saponification is because we are turning oils into soap. And back in the day, they would have to actually stir this for hours upon hours over a fire, but because we have electric hand mixers these days, we can actually speed up the process to about 5 minutes, and then we can pour it into our molds. So what we're going to do now is we are going to take the electric hand mixer, and you're going to take intervals of about 30 seconds pulsing it to go through different stages of saponification. First, it's just a very thin liquid state right now, but then it's going to turn, what we're looking for is the final state is have to be a very thick pudding that leaves a trace in it. So as you can see, it's getting thicker and thicker as we're mixing it, and we just want to make sure that it's going to get to a really, really thick pudding state. And right now it's almost there. It's actually leaving a pretty good trace behind it, meaning that when we move the mixer through the solution, it leaves a mark behind it that doesn't quickly disappear. So we'll probably give it about 1 more minute of mixing, and then we're going to continue on to the next step. Now it looks like we're about there. We'll take our spatula now and put our electric mixer to the side, and we'll just mix it with the spatula to make sure that it's at that thick pudding state, or as we call it in the soap making world, trace. So once it reaches this really nice thick pudding state, that's when we can start adding our essential oils into it. And the essential oils are found in the small amber colored glass, and you'll just slowly pour it into your solution. And sometimes when we pour essential oils into the mixture, we can actually lose trace because the properties of the essential oil will kind of revert the soap mixture back into its pre-trace state. So just mix it thoroughly, and then if that is kind of lost that thick pudding trace state, we're going to use the electric mixer again to get that going again. So ours kind of looks like it's lost it, so we're going to take the mixer and we're going to just mix it for 30 more seconds to a minute. As you can see, we've definitely reached trace. It looks like a very thick pudding, and when we run our spatula through the mixture, it doesn't go back to like a soup state. It just stays in that really thick state that it is. And at this point, you can even add some of your additives. If you want to put herbs or clays in there, you can start mixing those in at this point too before you pour it into your mold. We're going to leave our herbs for the last bit, and we're just going to sprinkle them on top for decoration. So you can go ahead and take your mug and your spatula, and you're going to start pouring the solution into your mold, and you might have to scrape it out with the spatula, which is fine. And some cool things that you can do at this point too is you can add patterns and different decorative items to your soap. One thing that we can do at the end is with our spatula is we can make different designs and patterns into the soap at the top of it once we get it all scooped out. Or you can just make a really smooth soap by smoothing it all over. It's kind of like baking a cake. So Vanessa is the master at using a spatula to make really cool designs on the top of a soap. You can play around with it, have fun, do whatever you want with your soap. It's your personalized soap here. And for last but not least, we're going to add our additive. We have chamomile herbs here. This is for the calming soap, so whatever additive was included with your soap, you can add it at this point, or you could have already mixed it into your soap before pouring it. We're just going to sprinkle a little bit on top. Just give it a really nice decorative look. And this is the process of making cold processed soap. What you'll want to do is you'll want to wait 24 hours, and then you can take it out of the mold, and then you can cut it into slices or different shapes, that whatever you want, with a cookie cutter or just a plain serrated or non-serrated knife. And then you'll wait another 24 hours after you cut it in order to use it. And this is our class. So I hope you enjoyed. Please check out our other tutorials online as well for the different types of soap that we have available.